Got that time waiting for the green light, the paranoia that it's going to the wrong channel, but here it comes. What is going on? My name is Nick. I would like to welcome you to TubeBuddy Live. I'd like to welcome you to a TubeBuddy live stream. Today we are talking about 10 hard truths about being a YouTuber. I'm joined today by my brother from the same mother, Dee Nimmin. Dee, how are you?
I'm great, and I'm going to say truth number one is watch out for that microphone cable.
Yeah, that is truth number one. Watch out for the microphone cable. That is extremely important.
Yeah.
So, 10 hard truths about being a YouTuber. The very first thing, if you are a content creator, because a lot of people when they start out on YouTube, and Dee and I talk about this all the time, a lot of things when people start out on YouTube, people seem to overlook a lot. And one of the things that people think about when they start on YouTube is like, hey, I'm going to put up these videos. Everybody's going to care, right? It's important to everybody, just like it's important to me. But one of the hard truths is that when you're first starting out on YouTube, like you care, your friends care, your family probably cares, but in terms of the general public, the people that you're putting your videos out there for, in most cases, people don't really care about what is going on. They don't care about how much work that you've put into it. They don't care about what your mission is, what it is that you're doing, and all that stuff. That's something that you have to build over time. That's why I'm always trying to really push people on making viewer-focused content, because you know it's important to make it about them, especially at first, instead of making everything just about you, and building that community that does care, building that trust in terms of like, hey, we can count on this person for content, we can count on this person to deliver information or entertainment or motivation, whatever type of content it is that you happen to make. Like that stuff takes time to build. So when you're first starting out, it's a really good idea not to expect people to care as much as you do. Right? Dee, anything to say on that one?
I don't think they're ever going to care as much as you do as a creator.
Yeah, sure.
But in terms of getting them to care in the first place, we had this conversation at the TubeBuddy house, actually, with Jason and Andrew Edwards, and Andrew was there, about the people actually fall in love with you. Yeah. So I think that's the most important thing, really.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely it is. And
in terms of caring.
Yeah. Sure. In terms of, like that's why some people will watch, even though, like, let's say that 10 different channels cover the same topic. Right. That's why, they'll watch one channel over another channel, because they care about the creator, how they deliver the information, and so on. So that does come, but just when you're first starting out, keep in mind that you care most about it, and the people that are, directly around you are the people that care most about it. You can't expect, that's what I should be saying, you can't expect other people to care about what it is that you are, what it is that you're doing.
That's a hard pill to swallow, too.
It is.
And you see it in comments. People will say things like, I'm not growing, but I put so much work into this. Yeah. But the bottom line is, nobody cares how much work you put into it. Right. Just like you don't care. Say you go see Star Trek, or you go see Star Wars, or you go see Skyscraper with The Rock, right? Yeah. You don't care how much work went into that. Right. Just, you want to be entertained. You want to see your favorite actor or actress do whatever.
It's about you. I want entertained. I want to be entertained. It's not about like, oh, hey, it's just because of Harrison Ford, which is a plus, but Right. Yeah, just entertain me. That's all they care about. So they don't care about how much work you put into it. They don't care about your hours. They don't care that you stayed up late. They don't care if you slept or not. They don't care that you've had encoding. Don't care. Right. Yeah, entertain me. Give me the information that I came for. Right. Period. Mic drop. Mic drop. Boom.
Look at this. Won't drop. Boom. Look at that. Look at this.
But on that note, like, just one, really important thing to make sure that you consider is, when you are putting out that content, like, a lot of the frustration, like he was talking about, that you get, when people are in the comments saying, I put in all this hard work and nobody's watching my stuff or whatever, a lot of that frustration comes from your own expectation of what it is that you expect from the people that are watching your videos.
Expectations.
Yeah. Right. And it's you putting that expectation on how you want people to act instead of how things actually are in the moment. So it's really important that you make sure that you are just focused on doing your thing, and of course delivering value to other people, and then all of that stuff will come together in the future.
I was going to say the expectation is a problem with people thinking that people should care about their content. Yeah. Expectation number one, that they shouldn't have. Number two, expecting that they're just going to throw some content up and grow. Right.
And that's coming up on the list. And number two actually is that you have to make good videos. You know, it's 2018. Our expectations are through the roof, right? You go to Netflix, everything looks fantastic. Everything sounds fantastic. It's entertaining. You know, it's all edited well. If you go to Netflix and you look at the actual imagery that's there in terms of the covers for all of the different shows that they have, you know, everything looks fantastic. When you go to all the professional sites, everything looks fantastic. When you watch TV, everything looks fantastic. So it's really important to make everything look and sound as good as you can. And I don't mean that you have to have the best equipment out there. You can do a lot of the stuff on your phone. But what I'm saying is that you need to make sure that you're putting in the effort to make sure that you're making the videos as good as you possibly can. Like it's 2018. Making videos in like a dark room in the corner, you know, it's just not going to cut it.
There's a market for that somewhere.
Sure,
but
somewhere.
For the masses, no.
Right, absolutely. And you know, like the better that you can focus on, or the better that you can make your stuff, the better people are going to respond to it. So another way to say that is it's not also just about your camera quality or your audio quality. It's also about, you know, like if you're just sitting there talking to the camera, are you projecting yourself well on camera? You're sitting there going through a bunch of ums and ahs and trying to figure out what it is that you're going to say with all these dead spots and things like that.
And stutter over your own words and trip over them like I do.
Right. And I do from time to time as well.
Right.
But you know, that's the beauty of editing, and that's why it's so important to make sure that you're making good videos and that you're editing your videos so that when other people are consuming your content, you're not wasting their time. Because, you know, there's a time exchange that happens. There's a time exchange that comes into play when somebody is taking time out of what it is that they're doing in their life or the entertainment that they like to consume to watch your content. It's your job as a content creator to make sure that you deliver enough value in exchange for the time that they're giving you. And one of the ways that you can do that is by making sure that the content that you put out there is solid, or at least as good as you can possibly make it, to where you do put in that effort, you do edit your videos, you do try to be mindful of the lighting, you do try to be mindful of how things sound and things like that. It's really important.
I just need to go in here to the comments, and there's a user says, "My stuttering life," that says, "I stutter in all my videos, LOL."
Yeah, nice. Like, nice, yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah, that was
right
the timing.
There.
Yeah, that couldn't have been better. Yeah. High five and fist bump to you for that one. That was great.
You know what amazes me is you surf through YouTube, and so many people that don't even put a thumbnail up.
Yeah, right.
They just do the user generated thumbnails.
Yeah,
mind-boggling.
It really is. You know, you have to put in that effort. It counts, and it shows in your work. You know, one thing to think of is that your work, what it is that people see, that is directly representative of you.
Yes.
So if you're putting in low quality stuff, then people are going to perceive you in that way. But if you're doing stuff to the best of your ability, and you're like, hey, you know what, I've got an extra 2 hours today, so I'm going to watch some YouTube videos on how to make better videos. I've got an extra hour here before I go and do this particular thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch a video on how to present on camera or something like that, to where you're constantly educating yourself and constantly trying to get better so that you can deliver a much better product to the people that are watching your videos.
You know what? Before I started on YouTube, I would waste so much time using the bathroom, laying in bed when I first woke up in the morning, going to bed, just mindlessly scrolling, just looking at stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm learning apps. I'm reading everything I can get my hands on regarding YouTube and the policy changes and new apps that are coming out, new companies that are. I have to. You know, you have to stay on top of that, or you're not going to make it.
Right. You know? You have to. That's like with anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like like going to the gym and all that stuff. You know, like you have certain things that you have to do. You have to make sure that you're eating a certain way and all that stuff, so that you can turn your body to where it's starting to eat the fat, and then you have to make sure you're on the going to the gym for a certain amount of time. It's the same exact thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. Which that actually leads us to the third truth
out
of the 10 truths.
Before we jump on that, I just say happy 4th of July to Americans out there.
Yeah, happy 4th of July to Americans. Yeah. And if you are just joining us, we are sharing the 10 hard truths about being a YouTuber. So let me know some of the truths that you have in the comment section right now. And if you're new to the TubeBuddy channel, if this is your first time watching a TubeBuddy live stream, do #new just so we can see you in the chat here, so that we can make sure that we are, you know, maybe we can custom tailor some information to you as a new person as your questions roll in here a little bit later in the broadcast.
I think we need some more TubeBuddy logos on this set.
Yeah, I think so too. We've got
I think we kind of like OD'd on the TubeBuddy stuff here.
Yeah, I think currently we've got 6 TubeBuddy logos right here in the live stream. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we've got 6 TubeBuddy logos right here in the live stream. We just wanted to make sure that we overdid it here a little bit.
Yep.
So we got a handful of news. We got Christian Reddy, we've got Chaotic Asteroid, Brian Plays Slots. Bots. Bloomin' Swarden. Hey, Bloomin' Swarden, I've seen you in here before. I've at least seen you in my streams. I don't know if this is the first time seeing you here.
Yeah, we do have TubeBuddy tattoos.
St. Louis. Jesse St. Louis in the house. What is going on, man? I wish that I would have had a chance to meet you at Bid Summit. We've got Real Quick Chris, also new to TubeBuddy. Fantastic. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you guys in here. Cool. So the next thing that was on this list is to make sure that you are embracing the learning curve. You have to embrace the learning curve. Like Dee was saying a minute ago, you know, there's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle when it comes to, you know, creating content, when it comes to creating content that people respond to, and when it comes to, you know, making sure that you're doing the best practices in terms of growing your channel and things like that. Like, you have to become a student of YouTube. You have to become a student of making videos. You have to step outside of your comfort zone and even try making different types of content and different types of ways of expressing yourself to see what sticks best with you, to see what your audience responds to best and things like that. But you have to become a student of YouTube. Getting lucky, like, those days are long gone. Yes. Really, really
long gone. It does happen.
Sure.
But
absolutely. It's an anomaly.
Yes.
But yeah, it absolutely happens. But you know, part of becoming a student is, you know, studying, watching a bunch of videos and studying how to edit videos. Studying, like, a great channel is Charisma on Command. That one is all about, you know, just having charisma and teaching you how to have charisma, and you can apply a lot of that to your on-camera presence. It also comes down to, you know, part of that learning curve is also learning how to use your analytics properly. You know, that's something that a lot of people don't even look at. Like, some people don't even know that there's an analytics panel. They don't even know it's in there.
Right. So how many times have you answered someone's comment under your video when they're like, I don't understand why I'm growing, I don't understand this or that, and you're like, have you checked your analytics? Have you checked your audience retention? And you're like, what
is that? Right. Yeah. So and that is also, you know, like, that's part of being a student of what it is that you're doing. You know, it's honing your craft. It's knowing, hey, these are the tools that are available to me. This is the information that's available to me. This is the data that is available to me. How do I use this? How do I make it work in my favor? Because, you know, being a creator, you know, we all just want to make stuff and just put stuff out there. That's awesome. But if you're making stuff and putting stuff out there, but it's not working, then you have all the information at your fingertips to figure out why it's not working, and then start making adjustments in order to make things start working for you in your favor. So really, really important to embrace that learning curve and try to educate yourself as much as you possibly can on all of the systems here at work, all the tools here at work, like TubeBuddy, for example. It's important that if you're a TubeBuddy user, and if you're not, make sure that you install TubeBuddy. They actually have a free version you can install right now. But make sure that you go through and you actually learn how to use the features. You know, what does this do? What does this do? Start clicking around, start going into their forum and asking questions. Hey, I just ran across this thing. What does it mean? I don't know. Right? Ask questions. It doesn't make you look stupid. It makes you look like somebody that's trying to figure out what's going on so that you can make it all work for you. So, you know, that's why they have their forums. That's why all of these tools are in place. YouTube has their own help forums as well. You can also go there and figure out or ask questions about how to use analytics and how to do all of this stuff, in addition to the YouTube Creator Academy that teaches you how all of this stuff works on the back end of YouTube as well.
Yeah, well said. I like how you mentioned them as tools.
They are.
It's like, because if you're just throwing videos up and hoping that something comes of that, it's like trying to build a house with a screwdriver.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And you
maybe
know,
not a screwdriver, maybe like just a hammer.
Yeah, just a hammer, but no nails.
Right.
Yeah, no nails, no wrenches. So you're not putting plumbing in.
Right.
You know, like, you've got a house, but guess what?
Right.
Guess where your bathroom stuff is going. Right. Yeah.
I mean,
big hole in the process.
Brian G. Johnson could probably build a house with a screwdriver.
Probably could.
Yeah.
Probably could.
The rest of you mere mortals, no, don't even think about it.
The next thing on the list is that it's important that you also, you know, that data that we were talking about in the last point, you know, about embracing the learning curve. It's also important that you dedicate yourself to testing things as much as you can. Like, look, we're all busy, you know, like, everybody has their lives that they're living, you know, people have their jobs that they're doing, people have their businesses that they're running and all that stuff, and then making content on top of it. I get it, you know, there's a ton of stuff to do, but it's also important that if you want people to see your stuff more, then the way to get people to see your stuff more, because you're putting it out into the world so that people will watch it, right? You want as many people as possible to watch your stuff. So because of that, it's important that you test your thumbnails. Use TubeBuddy's A/B testing feature. Test your thumbnails. You look at your click-through rates in your thumbnails. Compare them. Make changes. Compare them there. Look at your audience retention reports and start testing your actual video structure and the way that you're doing your things in your videos. Like, test everything, even if it's like a different position, like D right now, you know, he's changing from a desk setup to like a standing setup, possibly like a few other things that he's working on in here, because he's testing what is going on. He's testing, one, how he likes to create the best, what helps that creative energy flow, and two, you know, what's the audience going to respond to more. So it's really important.
I'm even testing cameras.
Yeah, Andy's testing different cameras as well. So it's important that you're testing this stuff all the way around, because if you're putting in the effort anyway, you're putting in all the work and you're putting in all of that time to make all of this stuff. So you might as well put in a little bit more time and start testing stuff so that you can make sure that you're getting your stuff in front of as many people as possible. Give me a thumbs up real quick if you hear what I'm talking about there.
I hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the comments too, yeah, everybody watching too, you know, give us a thumbs up if you you know, if all this is making sense so far. And if you haven't yet, make sure so that we can, you know, so we can help other YouTubers as well. If you have one YouTuber friend that you think would enjoy this live stream, go ahead and share this video or this live stream with them right now. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and share this with them as well. So the next thing, number 5 on this list, is that your audience matters. Right? Your audience is super important, because without your audience...
Look at those thumbs coming up.
All right, look at that. Woo! Your audience is super important, right? And, you know, like all the content that you're making it so that that audience, so that you can reach a particular audience that is going to resonate with you, that's going to resonate with the content that you're making, that is, you know, a group of like-minded people that are also into the same things that you're doing and all that stuff. Audience is super important. However, a lot of people will make content decisions, and they'll make decisions on their channel based on comments that are coming in from users, right? Yes. They'll say, hey, I had 1 or 2 people leave me a comment about this particular thing, so now I'm going to completely change up everything that I'm doing, right? I really, really, really recommend that you do not let your audience coerce you, so to speak, into making content decisions or taking your channel in any way that does not directly resonate with the direction that you personally want to take your channel, right? Yes. Like it's better, like you're the one that's going to be creating this stuff for a long period of time, right? Again, you want to listen to your audience, but they're not going to be the one that's creating that content 2 years from now, when you get yourself into like a pigeonhole, so to speak, because you took you know, the advice from the audience. Now you're stuck in this pigeonhole making this particular type of content because 2 or 3 people wanted it. You know, use your audience retention reports for this stuff, right? People will come into your comment sections. They'll be like, oh gosh, this is the greatest stuff ever. But then you go into your audience retention reports and it's like, wow, people are only watching this for like 20%. It's not that great. Right. Like, and again, you know, that's where educating yourself on the actual data and how to use all this stuff as tools, that's where it really comes in handy, because that gives you the ammo, so to speak, to make sure that you are, that you're making decisions based on data instead of, you know, based on some things that you might hear in the comments.
So how many times have you heard from your commenters that say, Nick, you speak too fast?
Oh yeah, I hear it all the time.
Right?
Yeah, hear. Yeah, here's what I hear. I hear, Nick, you speak too fast,
and you don't change it.
No, I don't change it.
Because you're just being you.
Yeah, I'm a steamroller, right? Yeah. So
now, okay. So yeah, when you started out, you weren't a steamroller, but now that you've kind of built your,
it's confidence, man. Yeah, that's all it is. It's confidence, and it's getting comfortable.
There, I was just gonna say, once you built up your confidence level, it's a steamroller.
Yeah. Well, what happens, like that process, right, is you start out, at least for me, like how it started out for me is I started out doing what I thought that people might like. I started out doing what I think that people would respond to, right? I got great feedback. However, it wasn't like really me, right? I was basically putting on this like, hey, I'm going to be this like, you know, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, that's not really who I am. So the more comfortable that I got, and the more that, you know, that I started getting feedback and started thinking like, hey, you know, people are kind of liking this stuff, it started giving me the confidence to start coming out of my shell a little bit and start kind of delivering things how that I just want to deliver them without, you know, without having to put on that show.
It's funny. Like if I go back and look at your older videos, I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, right.
But then when I look at your newer, like on your, you know, the recent videos, it's you. Yeah. Right. Like that's the you that I've known for all this time. Yeah. But it's weird.
All this time.
For all this time. Right. All this, but like looking back at your, it's almost like a different person.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you just weren't comfortable yet.
Right. Yeah. And I was hiding.
Yeah.
You know, I was hiding, you know, and like Jen's Adventures is saying right here, you know, and I had makeup on in those videos because I was afraid of what people would think, you know, like, because, you know, like around my nose here a little bit, you know, I've got like a little bit of like red and things like that.
You've got a lot of red.
Part of being a human being,
some
right?
Blackheads I can see.
Yeah, right. But part of being a human, right, is you have, you know, these imperfections. But me, because I was afraid to go on camera and because I was making sure that I was putting on that show, so to speak, you know, I went in and I was like covering all that stuff up, and I was just being really, I definitely do.
Exfoliate. Yeah.
but
get
you know,
the shine off your head. Right?
I don't think that's ever coming off. Yeah, I don't think that shine's ever coming off. But the next thing on this list is to make sure that you're setting goals. I just made an entire video about this on my channel. If you're not familiar with my channel, there's a link to it down in the description. There's a link in the description to Dee's channel as well. Make sure that you check those out and subscribe. But goals are extremely important because a lot of content creators they don't have like a plan. They don't have a roadmap. They don't have anything that they're trying to accomplish outside of, I'm just trying to blow up, right?
Does world domination count?
It does, but in order to dominate the world, you have to have a plan. Right? Like you can't just wake up and say, hey, I'm going to dominate the world today, because then you don't really know what to do. Right. You just start going out and like trying to dominate the world. Right. And with video content.
That didn't work well.
I know. Right. It keeps blowing up. Right.
It's like, man, 4 years in the penitentiary. Didn't work well.
Man. That's funny. He did not really go to the penitentiary. So, but with that though, you know, if you don't have a goal set and you're not saying, okay, I'm trying to accomplish XYZ, then you're just going to keep putting up content and your wheels are just going to keep spinning, and you're just going to keep putting up content. And you're just going to keep wondering, man, why isn't this thing, you know, why isn't it going? And then if it does start going and you're like, hey, this is rocking, then what is likely to happen is you're likely to end up in a place to where you're thinking, wait a minute, this isn't anything like I expected it to be. This isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I did this for. And when you set your goals, then it's going to help you stay on track. It's going to help you make sure that you're working with the right people when it comes to, you know, making sponsored videos and things like that. It's going to make sure that the content that you're putting out is content that's going to help send you to that particular goal. It's basically the pavement, right, for the road that you're making to get you to that goal that you're trying to accomplish. So it's really important, and I can't stress it enough, that you make sure that you set goals for your channel and what it is that you're trying to accomplish from your YouTube channel, so that you can make sure to make sure to do the right things and to make the right content. Give me a thumbs up again if you're feeling that one.
Pinky in the brain.
Pinky in the brain.
What are we going to do today? Same thing we do every day.
Take over the world. Is that what he says? Take over the world or dominate the world?
I think it says, what are we going to do today? Try to take over the world or something like that.
That's what it is. Awesome. The next one on the list, and real quick, if you have any of these, you know, any of these hard truths as well, you know, make sure that you leave them in the comments also, just because I'm just curious. You know, I'm curious what you think as well. You know, some hard truths, some things that you see people that are you know, that they're not being mindful of, but they need to be mindful of, and things like that. You know, if you have a hard truth, definitely leave it in the comments right now and let us know. Next one up on this list is, you know, there's a thing around YouTube to where
I want to just interrupt for one second and say, in terms of goals, I mean, I think it's cool to just aim just as big as humanly possible, but you also have to be a little bit realistic at the same time, I think. Sure. Especially with something like YouTube.
Sure.
I think. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do to an extent. Yeah. But realistic is kind of relative. Like realistic is kind of putting a roof on things. Right. To whereas if you say, okay, well, you know, I'm going to try to accomplish this, then all of your efforts are going to go towards accomplishing that. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but that's like what you're setting out for. So I think I think going big is important. Yeah. Because if you're going big, then that's also going to help drive you, because you know you got a long way to go. Right. You know. But yeah, the next one up on the list is that, you know, around YouTube, there's this thing about like, oh, well, if you're making money from your videos and all that stuff, then you're doing it wrong. I'm here to tell you that if you plan to do this as a full-time thing ever, right? If you plan to use video to help you in any way to create a full-time income, be it sending traffic from YouTube to your website, or be it, you know, sponsorship stuff, be it, you know, to where you offer some type of service or something like that, or just be it ad revenue, whatever it happens to be, it's really important that if you want to do this for a long period of time and actually sustain, you know, this thing of being a creator, that you figure out how to make money from the content that you're putting out. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but it's really important that you try to figure out how you can make money from your content, even if it just starts out as a little bit. You know, hey, I'm just going to add an extra, I'm going to try to make $20 a month, be it from ad revenue, be it from selling shirts, be it from, you know, like reaching out to different people to try to make videos, whatever it is. I'm going to try to make $20 a month or $100 a month, and just start there and then start trying to grow from there. It's really important because, you know, this stuff costs money. You know, microphones cost money, cameras cost money, computers to edit your videos cost money, your internet connection costs money, you know, and it adds up. You know, stuff gets really expensive when you start getting into high quality stuff.
The coffee that you need during your live stream costs money.
It does.
Especially for our live stream.
It does. It does. So, but you know, it's really important to make sure that you figure out how to monetize this stuff, because if you don't, then what's going to happen is you're going to be working your job, right? Or you're going to be, you know, running whatever it is that you're doing. And then you're also going to have all these pressures like, hey, my channel's starting to do well, but it's not making me any money. And like, I'm like getting popular here on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever it is that you're making your content, or on IGTV now, whatever it happens to be. But you're thinking like, hey, you know, this is going great. I'm having all this time, and now I have all this pressure to make sure that I deliver over here on YouTube, but it's not making me any money. And I still have to wake up and go to my job. So I can't stay up until 2 in the morning if I have to in order to get this video up. Right. Instead, I have to make sure that I go to sleep so that I can go to my job, or I'm going to stay up until 2 a.m. and I'm going to get this video done. But then my quality of life is going to suck because I'm going to be tired all the time. Right. So it's really important to find a way to monetize it, even if it's a little bit, just something to, one, help you, help you support your hobby of making videos, or two, enough to where you can actually turn it into something full time. Because I can tell you, it is definitely realistic. You can definitely do this full time. You just have to get your plan together, get your goals together, and get your monetization strategy together in order to figure all that out, in order to actually make it happen.
And would you recommend not relying only on ads?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I see that a lot, and I just think it's a horrible idea.
It is, and and with that, you know, it's really important to make sure that you diversify in terms of, you know, it's not just ads, it's not just affiliate income, that you have a bunch of different things that you're making money from your channel, so that you say you have 1 month to where this thing over here, it's like, oh, well, you know, this kind of sucked this month. That's okay, because this one did okay, and so did this one, and this one, and you're okay, right? Or, hey, these 3 things sucked this month, but these 5 other things, I'm like rocking over there, so it's okay. Right, I don't even, it's not even a big deal, right? So try to come up with as many possible ways to do it as you possibly can.
It blows my mind when I see people leaving comments or something calling people sellouts for selling merchandise.
Right.
I'm like, dude.
Right.
Like, you know, cameras cost money.
Right.
You know?
My
what
guess
what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, my guess is those are kids. My guess is those are kids who are not in the real world yet.
Yeah.
Right. They're like in high school, and they're like, oh, yeah, you know, life is whatever. And it's like, you know, it's like, hey, well, your parents are taking care of everything, so you don't understand the realities of this stuff yet.
Right.
Right. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. I see that a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. You and I were talking about, we saw something on, or I think you saw something on Reddit, and you brought it to my attention, where somebody said if the channel's monetized, they won't subscribe.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So one thing that I want to mention really quick is here in just a little bit, we are going to be doing a Q&A.
Oh.
So make sure, there is a link in the description of this video right now. Make sure that you are submitting your questions there. So when we get to the Q&A portion, that I can, you know, that you'll be on that list, so we can make sure to answer your question there. And really quick, I just want to hop in here into the chat real quick to say what's going on to Cathay Fit. What is going on to Danielle cutting the caboose in the house?
Shannon
Leadership
Vlogs.
with Mike, Shannon Vlogs, Reef Dudes. What is going on? Nice to see you guys in here. Hybrid Helps. Nice to see you here as well. Doug Houston also in the house. And Andrew Can. Thank you so much for moderating the chat. We massively appreciate you, my friend.
Midnight Madness 4x4.
Oh, yeah,
Autofocus 24/7. David from User Doc. Yeah, man, they're rolling in.
So the next one on this list, and real quick, once again, you know, make sure that you're, hey, Alan from AM Details in the house. What is up, my man? Nice to see you in here also. Boom. Yeah, fantastic, dude. So the next one on the list is that a lot of people get caught up in the competition thing in terms of like, you know, well, this channel's doing, you know, this, or this channel's doing this. Why are they growing faster than me? Why am I growing faster than them? Like, what's going on? They're getting more comments. I'm getting more comments. They're getting more views per video. They're growing faster every month. They're growing, you know, whatever. And people have this like big thing to where it's like, you know, oh, well, you know, I'm putting all of my worth on what's going on all these other channels. It's really important that you understand that, yes, it's good to be competitive. However, What is going on in your competitors' channels has nothing to do with you, right? So one of the hard truths here is that your competition doesn't matter. You're in your own world, so to speak, right? Like, it's more important that you race against yourself.
Anyway.
I know, through like day to day,
right?
But it's important that you understand that you are racing against yourself, right? You're not racing against these other channels because you don't know where they're getting their traffic from. You don't know exactly what is going on behind the channel. So comparing is only going to make you frustrated. Comparing is only going to make you sit back and think to yourself, man, what is going on? What am I doing wrong? What is wrong with me? Right? And that is not what you want, right? Because you don't know what is happening on their channels in order to make them grow faster, in order to make them get more views and all that. So it's important to make sure that somebody in the chat here, Autofocus247 just said, do you first, right? Do you first focus on being better than you were last month? Focus on making every video better than the video before it. Focus on optimizing your keywords or your just metadata in general better every time you do it. Make sure that you focus on making better thumbnails every time you do it until you get something that works like a system, so to speak, that you can count on every time you upload a video. You can expect X amount of views from it and so on. But it's really important. And I can't stress this enough to, of course, you want to keep an eye on your competition, right? You want to see what they're doing. You want to see what type of videos they're making and things like that. But in terms of like the big picture, you know, you are racing against yourself. That's it. You're not racing against anybody else. It's you and the content that you put out. You're going to reach a similar audience, but you're not going to reach the same exact audience, right? Like,
it's you against you.
It is. And, you know, like a really good example of this, you know, like people in my space, right? Like people that watch the TubeBuddy channel, right? Some people that watch the TubeBuddy channel also watch my channel. Some people that watch my channel also watch the TubeBuddy channel, but not everybody, right? It's because we have our different audiences. Same thing with the other people in the space. Same thing with all of the people in your space and the niche that you happen to be operating in. You know, like the people that are watching you, some of them are watching some of the other people, right? But you have your audience that you're building, and it's important that you focus on your audience instead of focusing on what your competitors are doing.
I see that a lot too. People leave comments saying, well, this person started at the same time as me and they've got like all these more subscribers. Yeah. How can they do that?
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't. Right.
It
doesn't matter. All that happens in that situation is you're just sitting there. You're making this like big deal out of something that doesn't even matter and it doesn't even apply. Right. So it's really important for the sake of your own sanity and to keep you driven and to keep you from thinking, hey, something's wrong with me.
Right.
It's really important that you make sure that you just focus on doing your thing and stay in your lane.
And the time that you're going to spend, the energy that you're going to spend,
you could have made videos.
Right. You could have made videos. You could have tested your thumbnails. You could have done something else. Instead, you're going to get tripped up and just like watch this other person or other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just do you.
Yeah. Like Cyber Times LLC, for example, right? He's saying, hey, I watched Tim Schmoyer and Daryl Leaves, right? So like in that situation, like I watched them too, by the way, they're awesome. I've got videos coming out with him on my channel here from VidCon here within the next sometime this month, I believe. But you know, like in his particular case, right? Like he watches me, he watches Tim, he watches Daryl. But you know, we also have a whole other audiences of a bunch of other people. Some of those people cross over, some of those people don't. So because of that, we can't compare against each other, and you know, we just have to keep doing our own thing. The ninth thing on this list is that you got to focus on something. Random vids just do not cut it anymore, right? It's really important that you make sure that you focus on a niche. Even if you're a vlogger, right? Try to focus in on something. Try to focus in and say, okay, well, I'm going to be a vlogger and I'm going to showcase like my family. We're going to do like a family vlog, but we're going to try to have some common themes so that we can build that audience of people that are interested in similar things that we're interested in with our family, right? So making sure that you focus on something, right? Instead of just putting up random videos here and there, focusing can be extremely powerful on YouTube because all the content that you're putting out there, you're increasing the likelihood of people clicking on that new content as it goes out. You're increasing the likelihood of people clicking on your notifications when they get in their emails, when they see your little video there and with the new tag next to it in the suggested column. You're increasing your chances of them clicking on it because it's directly related to the stuff that they are interested in, which you are also interested because you are making content about it. Any thoughts?
No. I was just watching you, wondering if you were going to breathe.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, breathing's for losers.
That's right.
And then number 10, and this is This is the biggest one in my opinion.
All right.
Number 10 is just making sure that you don't quit, because YouTube, video, doing anything in your life, it's a process, right? Like no matter what it is that you've tried to do in your life, it's not like you just think, oh, I want to do that, and then all of a sudden you're like a master at it, right? Like there's learning curves with everything. It takes time. There's things that you're doing now that you can't even identify right now. You can't even see it. But a year from now, you're going to look back at that content and you're going to say, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I was doing that. Like Dee was mentioning before, my first videos, right? I look at those now and I think like, oh my gosh, I was screwing up all over the place.
I like to go back and watch those just to see you in makeup.
Yeah, I do too.
Anytime I'm having a bad day, I just go back and I look at some of your old videos and it just makes me feel better.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was wearing heels too.
Okay.
But you just can't see those on camera.
Right.
So if it
and I share them out with family.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas time, like, hey, here's a video of Nick wearing makeup.
Yep. Again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but like part of that though is, like at that point in time, I thought, I'm like, hey, I'm doing everything right. I'm making videos that, I'm presenting myself in a way that I think people will respond to and all that stuff. And at the time it made sense. And I couldn't see past it because that's where I was at the time. There's things that I'm doing right now that I'm going to look a year from now. I'm going to look at the content I'm making now. And I'm going to say, oh man, I should have been doing this. I should have been doing this. I should have been doing this instead of whatever it is that I'll be doing a year from now. Right. And the same exact thing applies when I look back to that old content. It's just,
just part of like your personal evolution,
It is.
Okay, same thing.
And knowledge too,
right?
Like a
you
really
don't know
good example.
Until you know.
Exactly,
right.
Exactly. One example is in one of those videos, one of those first videos. I said something like, I'm like, okay, now I want you to stop this video right now, and then go do this particular thing, right. And in my brain, I'm thinking like, okay, hey, I'm like giving them the space to do this, and it's cool, and then they'll just pause it, they'll do it.
Retention just
and it's like hey, they'll do it, and then they'll come back to the video and all that stuff. I wasn't thinking like people don't have time for that. That's not what they're there for, right? And but at the time, I was like, oh, hey, this is great,
right?
But now I see it, and I just couldn't see it then because it was right in my face. I was doing it, but I just couldn't see it at the time. So
yeah, I would agree. Just because if you never know also what opportunities are going to come. So like if you are going to quit, because sometimes it can be like a weighs on you.
Oh yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like the daily grind, or you're constantly uploading, constantly have to think of new ideas, constantly have to like fix your gear or computer. It's a grind, right?
It is.
And if you don't love the grind, you're going to get your butt kicked, right? And if you're thinking about quitting, like you just don't know like what think of how many opportunities have come along for you in the past year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you would have quit, you would have never, ever, ever known what's coming just around the corner.
Right.
You could be one video away.
Yeah.
Right? One video away from getting that email saying, hey, we saw your video.
We want you to come work with CBS.
Right.
Right.
Or, man, you're a killer editor. Can we hire you for this? Or do you want to work with us? We'd love to sponsor your channel.
Right.
One video away.
Yeah. So
not, right?
and you never know when you're that one video away from from just having that one video to where
the
people
breakout
are like,
video.
Right. To where people are like, wow, this is amazing, and people respond to it, and then the algorithm starts putting you all over the place, and then all of a sudden like boom, you did it. So being patient and embracing that process and just never stopping.
Never quit. Like if you're going to make that commitment, just commit and just grind it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And just understand it's a long process in most cases.
You mean I can't succeed overnight?
Nope.
But I work so hard.
Yep.
I put in so many hours.
Yep. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. Well, my friends say I'm great.
Yeah. Well, check out your audience retention report. See if the masses think you're great.
It's 92%. Now what's up?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're rocking then. Yeah, you're rocking. Well done.
Mic drop. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. So now we are going to get into the Q&A part. So if you have a question right now, we've got I believe 26 responses here. I'm going to refresh and just make sure that's where we're at. Yeah, 26 responses here in the question. So if you have a question that you want answered, make sure that you go ahead and drop it into the contact form that is linked to down in the description below this video right now. And Leisha Joya, I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you very much for the compliment. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
I just want to shout out to the geeky drinkers who just dropped a Journey reference in the chat. So,
nice.
Huge fan of Journey, so I had to call you out on that one. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so the first question here is from Eli Animations, and Eli Animations asks, what should you do when you're not motivated, but you should probably get a video uploaded? Okay, so this is a great question because it happens to everybody. Part of this process is you're just in the grind, like Dee was talking about, right? To where you're like in the grind and you're like, you know what? Today, I just don't want to do it today, right? But the difference, and this is with everything in life, the difference between people that do things and the people that want to do things is the people that do things say, you know what? I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have to push through this, and I have to get this up. I have to get this video done. I have to get this video going so that I can make sure that I keep, heading in the direction of my goals and all that stuff that we were talking about earlier in the stream. So if you're not motivated and you need to get a video up, push through anyway. And I know that sounds easy, but here's a tip. Start, right? Just start working on something. So like, let's say that you have a video that you need to edit, right? Say, okay, you know what I'm going to do? All I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down on the computer. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes. And I'm going to see how much I can get done in 10 minutes, right? And then what you're going to do there is you're going to sit down, and you're going to be sitting in front of your computer, and you're going to be editing your video, and you're going to keep looking at the clock, and then you're going to say, okay, I'm looking at the clock. I've got like 5 minutes left on this.
Did you just take a breath?
I did. I've got 5 minutes left on this, and I'm just gonna keep going for this 10 minutes, and then next thing you know, it's like, you know what? I'm 10 minutes in. I'm just gonna see, maybe I'll go 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes. And the next thing you know, you're 2 hours in and you've edited your video, right? So the power tip there is basically just to start in some part of the process so that you can just go ahead and be in that thing. Because if you're just sitting on your sofa playing your game, then it's not gonna help. You're not gonna do it because playing the game is gonna be more fun. If you're just like out doing something else, then going home and doing it, that's not going to be enough. You have to actually you have to do it. Just start it, dedicate 10 minutes to it, 15 minutes to it, and then start moving on from there.
That's good advice.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up on the list. Okay, this is from Chloe Animals. Says, I have a YouTube channel and I try to improve it as much as possible, but I only upload videos during school holidays and I still don't have a lot of subs. Why and what can you advise me to improve? Thanks. If you are not uploading because you're in school, don't even worry about it. It's important that you obviously, you need to focus on your school. That's priority right now. So focus on that over everything else. In terms of your YouTube content, simplify what it's doing. If you want to upload more, maybe simplify your content. Maybe when you are, like alone, right? Instead of saying, okay, well, I don't know what type of content that you make, but instead of saying when you're alone, instead of saying I'm going to watch TV, like go like practice like presenting so that maybe you can make videos faster because you're presenting in a smoother way to where you don't have to edit as much, right? But another thing I can tell you also is the more you do it, the faster you're going to get. But when it comes to prioritizing and saying, well, school or YouTube, pick school, right? Because that's the most important thing right now. But in terms of, getting those extra uploads up, make shorter videos, make videos that are less or that are more simple in terms of the editing process. Use an app like KineMaster as an example and edit some of your videos on your phone in between classes or something like that, or during your lunch break or something along those lines. If you want to, make sure that you keep your, you want to make sure that you keep that upload schedule up. And if in the chat here, if you guys have any responses to that in terms of school versus YouTube, I'd love to know your thoughts on that in the chat as well. In terms of like hey, how can students upload more content to their channels?
Well, you've got weekends off.
Yeah,
right.
You do.
Like you could record more than one video over the weekend.
Yeah.
Just pick one day, like Sunday. Who goes to school on Sunday?
Yeah.
At least when I went to school, nobody went to school on Sundays.
Right.
I don't know about now.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you can like knock out 2 videos on a Sunday, do that.
Yeah. Ginger Leafy Gear Review says, I make 0 YouTube revenue under the threshold. That's cool. Don't even worry about it because it's not a lot anyway in most cases. Not for a while.
People get really caught up on that ad thing.
They do.
Right?
So I try affiliate links to keep my channel running, except nobody clicks my links even after I requested they do. They do so to help out. What can I do? So in that particular case, what you are going to have to rely on as somebody that's doing affiliate links and somebody that's trying to drive traffic to affiliate links, if you're doing reviews and I think that's what you said. Yeah, you're doing gear reviews. So if you're doing reviews and you're actively pushing people down to your links, but they're just not responding to them, that can be a couple of things. One, that can be that your calls to action aren't hard enough in terms of like, hey, you need to go check this out. This is an awesome camera, or you're like, whatever, go check it out right now. And it's also maybe the way that you're reviewing. Maybe you need to give a little bit more information. Maybe you need to give a little bit less information to where you can encourage them to go click on the link to, hey, these are my thoughts on on it, you know, as your call to action, right? Hey, these are my thoughts on it, but you can click on the links down below and go to Amazon as an example, and there's tons of reviews over there. There's some good stuff, there's some bad stuff, but I recommend that you go and you check out those reviews also before you make a purchasing decision or, you know, something along those lines. Paul Peck, what is going on, man? Says, do you think the new copyright tool could be an issue with collaboration videos if you use some of the footage for both channels? No, I think you'll be okay.
Interesting question, though.
Yeah, it is. Very interesting question. Leadership with Mike. Looking at analytics, what exactly are you looking at? That's the best question that I think I've had in 2018. Thank you. Right. Okay, so what you're looking at when you go into your analytics, the most important things that you want to look at right now, and of course some of it is going to be dependent on your goals, but the most important things you want to look at is you want to look at your click-through rate and your thumbnails. You want to look at the watch time that you're generating per impression, which is in the new Creator Studio beta. You also want to look at your audience retention, right? Those three things are arguably the most important things, because like your click-through date on your thumbnails is basically telling you how good your thumbnails are, right? And your watch time per impression, it's basically like, if one way to think about it is when your videos get shown to people on YouTube and your thumbnails get shown to people on YouTube, when they can see the full thumbnail anywhere on the page, that's an impression. When somebody clicks on that, then that would count as an actual click. And then once they hit your video, then the watch time generated from that click or from that initial impression, right? Because it follows all the way through. The watch time generated from that initial impression, the more of that you get, and with a high click-through rate, can make a humongous difference in what's going on with your channel. So pay really close attention to your click-through rate and your thumbnails. Pay really close attention to how much watch time you're getting per video, and also keep a very close eye on your audience retention overall. Because obviously, the longer people are watching your videos, the better the algorithm's going to respond to it, as long as you also have these other elements in place. Now, a question that comes in all the time is, what's a good click-through rate on the thumbnails, right? It can be very high. It can also be very low and still be extremely effective. It's not necessarily a specific number. It's more, and there's no way to actually tell this, but it's about how your thumbnails are comparing to the other thumbnails that are around it. So if you're getting a higher click-through rate and higher watch time per impression than the other videos that you're being served next to, then you're going to win. If you're getting a lower click-through rate and lower watch time per impression, then you're going to lose. But to sum up your question, audience retention, click-through rate on your thumbnails. Those are two of the most important things. Now, you can go even farther, and you can go into your subscribers, right? And you can click in the subscriber area, and you can sort your videos by the videos that generate the most subscribers. And you can say, okay, well, these particular videos, these are all generating more subscribers on my channel than all of the other videos that I have put together. That tells me, when it comes to making my content decisions and the content that I'm going to put out on my channel, this is what people are responding to in terms of the things that are generating subscribers. So if my goal is to generate more subscribers on my channel, then I need to make sure that I'm making more of that content, right? Because that's what people are subscribing for. Now, on the flip side of that, you also have, okay, these videos give me more views. So if you're strictly reliant on ad revenue, then it's important that you get more views over everything else. So because of that, then you have to go and you have to sort by the ones that you're getting viewed the most and start making more content like that, because that's the stuff that's bringing in the views, right? So that's the information that you want to look for in your analytics. I mean, we could probably spend 2 hours talking about this, but those are the most important things that you need to make sure that you are keeping your finger on.
So that was the question of the year, followed by the answer of the year.
Yeah.
Excellent answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent question.
Your real estate whisperer. Nice to see you in here, by the way. What's the most important analytic for us to pay attention to? 2 of those in a row? Are you kidding me? Wow. I've waited all year. I've waited all year for today. This is a perfect day. Thank you, guys. Yeah, this is great. Do you have any videos on analytics from YouTube? I don't have any specific videos on analytics, but what I do have is I have a bunch of videos to where I make references to all of this stuff within the videos, to where I'll show screenshots and all that, and then I'll talk about why it's important in the videos, but I don't have like a full-blown analytics breakdown in my videos. So just as a heads up, I'm actually working on something with TubeBuddy to where we will have a full-blown analytics breakdown for you that's going to take you through the entire process of going into your analytics, so you'll understand what every single thing inside of the analytics means and how to use it to your advantage.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. That's awesome. 2 of those in a row.
Yeah. What's going on? Are we being punked?
I think so.
I
think we're being punked. The universe is like, hey, you've been waiting for this.
Ashton Kutcher, are you out there?
Yeah. So what Dee was saying a little bit ago, what Dee was saying about like that one video, you don't know when you're like one video away.
Right.
I was like 2 questions away from those that I've been waiting for a long time.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, pumped. That was great. You guys just made my day, by the way. Because most of the time it's like, how do I get subscribers?
Right.
Right. Which is cool. I understand. Like if you're just starting out and you're trying to get that whole thing going, I understand that. But like when I see like real questions like that, like, hey, I've got these tools. What do I need to look for? Love that. You just made my day.
It feels good, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels great.
Yeah.
Christian Reddy. How do I determine what my audience is most interested in? Love it. Yeah, you guys are.
Look at this.
This is beautiful
this
today.
Is like
I'm like
3.
You
know
what?
what?
I'm gonna take a moment and just kind of
reflect
on this.
We should hug it out.
Yeah, we should.
We
yeah,
should
after the stream. Yeah, after the stream, we're gonna hug.
Yeah,
for sure. So, to determine what your audience is most interested in, again, you want to look at your audience retention reports. It's going to tell you how your audience is responding to your actual content. So you can make decisions literally second by second on how people are responding. You can say, okay, in every single video, when I do this particular thing, then for whatever reason, the audience starts leaving. Or if I talk too long, the audience starts leaving. If I don't talk enough, the audience starts leaving. And you start looking through all of your videos and you take notes on all this stuff and you start looking through your videos and you'll start recognizing patterns. Interesting. Every time I take a space and I show this little B-roll sequence for whatever reason, people are leaving because of that. Or you'll see to where like your audience retention is going like this, and then you run that B-roll sequence and it's like, oh, wait. Okay, this is the thing that causes people to pay attention. So what I need to do then is I need to take that and I need to move it a little bit closer to the front so that it'll stop that drop quicker, right? And then go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to, speaking of that, I had one particular video early on, right? Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened. So my set was dark, right? And I'm going through, and I forget what the video was about, actually. I think it was just like teaching people, some basics on their phone. Shit, it might even be my first video.
Yeah.
And so I did a B-roll image, right?
Yeah.
And the image goes up and it's bright white. And it's this guy. I think I told people to put their phone on airplane mode before they go to record. And it's this bright white image that I got. And this guy's like holding up his phone or something like that. The second that image shows, it's like a cliff. Yeah. Like you can watch it and it's just a straight cliff down.
Nice.
Like for whatever reason, that bright white just turned everybody off.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that's the thing. Like you don't know.
You don't know until you see it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and then when you start seeing things like that over and over and over again, then you're like, oh, wait a minute.
I shouldn't use those.
I need to change something here.
Right.
In addition to that, you also can look, like I was saying before, with another one of those questions, like I was saying before, in terms of, these particular videos are generating the most subscribers. You find that in your analytics. You can just click on the subscriber button, then you can go into there and sort by the ones that are the videos that are giving you the most subscribers. You can also do the same exact thing for comments, likes, and then you basically start taking all of that data and putting it together. And again, you'll start seeing patterns. Okay, well, when I make videos on these particular topics, people are really enjoying these and they're really responding to these. Whereas when I make videos on these other topics, nobody seems to care, or I get a lot less activity on those. If you use your analytics in that way and you use those specific things in terms of what's generating subscribers, your watch time, what's generating comments, what's generating likes, then those are the things that are also going to, and shares as well, and playlist ads also. Those are the things that are going to tell you specifically the content that your audience is into. Andrew says, when I make videos about Nick and Dee fighting me, people love it. Oh, it's awesome. Taiwan's TV says, if I partner with a game to where I get in-game items to give away to my viewers, do I have to check a specific sponsored box somewhere or put anything in my video description? Thank you. Yes. If you are doing any type of giveaway, then you have to put specific information down in your video description. That information is basically your contest rules. You have to have the links to the YouTube community guidelines and a nice list of other things. But yes, you definitely have to add things to your description for that. And you have to disclose if you have somebody giving you something to make that video about, then you also have to disclose that that it's a sponsored video as well. And basically, when you upload your video, you can go into the advanced settings for that video, and then you can click on a little checkbox that says that it's a sponsored video. And then you're also going to have an option to check another box that is going to, and you can do this or not. So if you don't say it in your video, then you might want to do it with the little checkbox to where it actually puts a little blurb of text over your video for the first 5 seconds that says that this is a sponsored video. So yes, there are. So one thing that I recommend to you is if you Google YouTube giveaway rules, then one of the first few things that you're going to see is going to be something directly from Google or directly from YouTube. Click on that one. Don't click on any of the other stuff you see. Just click on that one, and then it's going to give you a full breakdown on exactly what it is you need to do, and literally like word for word what you need to put in your description.
What's your personal opinion on giveaways for new channels?
It depends on what they're doing. Like in this case, right? Like one thing that I try to lean on when people ask me that is if you're giving to get, then you're doing it wrong. But if you're giving to give, then you're doing it right. So like in this case, right? Like if they are giving away game cards because like, hey, I've got 10,000 subscribers and I just want to say thank you because you guys are awesome. I'm giving away 10 gift cards and like that's it. Then hey, you're winning. But if you're like, okay, well, I'm going to give away 5 gift cards every week so that hopefully people will subscribe so that they can get some of these gift cards and all that, then in my opinion, you're doing it wrong in that particular situation.
Okay.
And the reason for that, just so I can explore that a little bit, the reason that I think that you're doing it wrong in that situation is because you are generating basically inflated numbers of people that don't care about the content. They don't care about the creator. All they care about is that stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. The stuff.
Okay, next up on the list is user doc, Usner doc, USner doc. David, yeah, that's the easy way to do it. What keeps you and Dee motivated? This is great. Dee, I'll let you go first.
Wow, what keeps me? I'm assuming to upload content to YouTube or just life in general.
Let's just say in general.
In general, I'll tell you what keeps me motivated in general is I enjoy the freedom that I've created for myself by becoming an entrepreneur. And like I fear like going back and having to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
So
it's like worst nightmare stuff.
Yeah. So like that motivation for me is just like I know that if I don't discipline myself, if I don't get up and do the things that I don't want to do, if I don't put in the long hours, I know what the alternative is. And that's one motivator. The second motivator is I like to do things that are fun.
Yeah.
And if I'm not having fun doing it, it kind of gets miserable, right?
Sure.
So I like to have fun. And the third thing regarding YouTube is I get to do it with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun to have your brother around to do stuff like this with.
Yeah.
So that's a huge motivator in terms of doing all of this.
Yeah.
But in general, for life, for me, just to keep going with like my business, yeah. I don't want to go back and work for somebody. I don't want to build somebody else's dream.
Right.
You know, I have an enormous amount of freedom, and I want to hold on to it.
Sure. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, initially it was just lifestyle design. Like I've like the way
that's a better way of putting it. Too long didn't read lifestyle design.
The like the initial thing that I set out to do initially was basically to kind of design things in a way to where I could wake up every day and I could enjoy like the entire day, right? So that includes like enjoying like, you know, like waking up.
It's the freedom. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's the freedom.
Like
exactly I don't wake up per an alarm clock unless I absolutely have to. When I go out, I just kind of like do whatever, and then I go home whenever, and then and then I'll work whenever, and if I want to work late, I can work late. If I want to work early, I can work early. In addition to that, like Dee was saying, like we get to hang out, with our girlfriends and stuff in terms of, we just get to spend time with the people that are around us instead of like always, being like, oh, well, I've got to, be at this particular place at 5 o'clock. Or at 9 o'clock in the morning, so I gotta wrap it up, right? So for me, it was more about lifestyle design, and part of that, I'm happy to say that like literally, if I could like just live like today, right? If I could just live today over and over and over again, I'm cool. Absolutely
I wouldn't do that for today.
Yeah.
But like pick a better day.
Yeah, the extra hour at the mall when the rain.
Right.
Yeah,
Like stuck in the rain.
Yeah. So let's say like yesterday or sometime, a few days.
I've got some gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not today. Not today.
Fun question though. Fun question.
Speaking of alarm clocks, can you believe, unless it's travel related, I haven't used an alarm clock in like 15 years.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that's a motivator to keep that going.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Life on my terms. That's what keeps me motivated.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a great way to say it.
Yeah.
Great way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you came into YouTube also, by the way.
Dude,
this is awesome.
Yeah,
totally awesome.
This is great.
Yeah, this is like I dreamed of this like a long time ago. It's just amazing.
I'm kicking myself in the butt for not doing this like a long time ago. When he first said I'm doing YouTube, I'm saying, hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I should have done that too.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. But we didn't know.
Right.
At the time.
You don't know until you know.
Right. Yeah. Andrew's saying that he was Dee's alarm clock at VidCon.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. And he was the put to bed clock also.
Andrew, hey, if you guys ever have an event and you need like a house mom, Andrew will
run that thing like a.
He's like a drill sergeant.
Yes.
Actually,
yeah.
He's like, boys to bed.
Yeah.
And then like
you guys have to get up early tomorrow. It's time to go to bed.
Right. He like walks through the hallway banging on a garbage can.
Yeah.
Wake up!
6 in the morning. Clank, 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 clank. Right. Oh, good stuff.
He gave us TubeBuddy swag and told us to name him.
Yeah.
Female names.
This is your shirt. Right. You will give your shirt a woman's name. Right. Yeah. All right, guys. So I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you, Andrew, for moderating the chat. Thank you, TubeBuddy, the awesome folks over at TubeBuddy for letting us come on your channel here in the first place.
Hey, this is my second
Absolutely
stream with TubeBuddy, and I love it. Third, actually.
Yeah, this is Dee's third stream
with
now with TubeBuddy. So, Dee, thanks for coming on to the stream also.
Thanks for having me, Nick. Thanks for having me, Andrew, and the rest of the TubeBuddy clan. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
And you can find links to both of us down in the description below. So make sure if you haven't yet that you head over and that you check me out to learn how to grow your channel, make videos, and all types of other YouTube-related stuff. And check out Dee to learn how to master your mobile device and make videos on your phone and do a bunch of other awesome stuff on your phone. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.